Hi everybody, welcome, brand new Zen Mondays on a special Tuesday. Hello Instagram. Welcome to this live edition, special session of Zen Mondays on a Tuesday. I'm also doing it a little bit earlier today because I am hosting my mastermind with these amazing ladies later tonight, but I did want to hold on. The window's open because it's really hot. I wanted to hold on to my promise from last night. So here we are, brand new Zen Mondays. My name is Stephanie Verschow. I am a coach, hey Robert, an energy healer, and a motivational speaker. And today I'm going to be talking all about shifting from fear to flow. So the reason why I felt so strongly to really talk about this today, because I've been feeling a little of that fear myself, and I think it's important to call ourselves out. So whenever we're going through whatever we're going through, whether it's going to school or working in a job that you may not necessarily love, or looking for a partner, or being newly parents, like whatever that might be, you might catch yourself in a place that is really scary. You are in a lot of fear. It feels paralyzing. Hi, Charlotte. I'm so excited. This is such a good crew. It's the afternoon crew that I don't get a lot during the time. So if you're tuning in, I am going to be talking all about how to shift from fear to flow. So fear can disguise in so many different types of masks. So fear can come in feeling paralyzed, feeling unsure, feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed. There are so many things that we label as something because it makes us feel better, but at the root of all of it is fear. So what I'm going to share with you guys today are 3 steps. Hello. If you're joining in, I'm going in both cameras because I'm live on Facebook and Instagram, but I am here with you guys. So I'm going to share with you guys 3 steps that you can take, and they're easy, practical tools. If you've worked with me before, if you've tuned in live, you know that things that I share are easy. I'm all about the depth, and I'm all about really going in. But I love to leave whatever it is that I'm listening or reading in a way that I can put to practice it right away. Otherwise, we're learning all this wonderful information, and then we're like, how do we even begin to put it to practice? So step number 1. So I want you to think of a situation, and if you want to share it with me, please go ahead. I will share some personal examples. But think of a situation right now that you might be feeling fear. So remember, this can be anything from overwhelmed, unsure, paralyzed, maybe making up excuses that, this never happens because of this person. It's all fear, and fear, in a way, there's a lot of that we can learn from our fear as long as we don't end up listening and allowing it to control it. So step number 1 is bring awareness into the situation. So I'll give you a personal situation. Many of you guys know I'm a coach, I'm an energy healer, and before I start working with coaching clients, I have a call, because I always say I interview them as much as they interview me. I want to love my clients as much as, they love me, and we love the process together. So I had a call scheduled with a potential client last week. Welcome everybody. And it was a Sunday afternoon, and the person didn't end up calling. So in that moment, I realized that almost like the fear also can come in that voice. So that voice in our head that's always, oh my God, always has an opinion about everything we talk about. Whether it's like, good job, you're doing great, or you're sucking today, like another day where you're sucking at life. That voice is always there. So as soon as the person didn't call, that voice almost went into autopilot, like, there they go again. Well, you probably didn't want to work with them either. You don't want to work with somebody that's late. You don't want to work. In that second, it was probably within 30 seconds, I was like, wait a minute. There is nothing wrong with this person. For all I know, this person, an accident happened, something happened, like who knows? Either way, it's none of my business. What I'm saying is, it doesn't help me to listen to this voice that's going to go on and on and on about why this person never called. So when you're thinking about, so I acknowledged and I said, listen, okay, I might be a little disappointed. So the first step again is acknowledging. So I acknowledged it. I might be disappointed they didn't call, but in the big scheme of things, they may not be right for me. Something might have happened, so I actually want to send them a lot of love. And I ended up shifting it. I was writing a blog, shifted it, and within a minute, I was back in a place that I felt empowered. Because if we don't acknowledge that one thing that's causing you fear, let's say it could be money, again, if you're a new parent, if you are in a job that you don't like, it's all these fears. If we don't acknowledge and we say, you know what, I'm actually really scared that I'm gonna be in a job that I hate. You know what, I'm actually really scared, I'm a new parent, I don't know what I'm doing. And you just say it like, what's the big deal, right? And as soon as you acknowledge it, you disempower the fear, and therefore you end up empowering yourself. So the first thing is when you're acknowledging, and let's say if this is new to you and you're kind of like, okay, I want to try it out, be really curious about it and be very loving. So instead of pointing it at the person, at the situation, you're turning the mirror to yourself and you're like, all right, Steph, what's the situation? What's the fear? What's causing me this anxiety? The second thing is notice the voice in your head. So if the voice in your head is going to town and it's saying, you suck, you are irresponsible, you are, you're never going to get a new client, nothing is going to work for you, you're going to be like, hold on a minute. First of all, you are not running my life. I get to control you. So you calm the voice in your head. Think of the voice in your head like a 3-year-old that's running crazy, right? If you're trying to yell at the 3-year-old and you're like, oh my God, stop. The 3-year-old is gonna freak out even more. It's gonna yell even louder, and it's gonna end up winning whatever fight. So think of that voice, think of that fear like a 1, 2, 3-year-old that literally can yell louder than you for much longer than you can. So you take a look at you and you're like, let's calm down. So when the 3-year-old is yelling and it's, crying or whatever, what you do is you give it love. All right, little man, calm down. It's all good. You're going to get the snack or you're going to get the toy or you're not, but let's talk about it. So that voice in your head, when you're acknowledging, you want to just, hey, dude, girl, calm down. We got this. The second part about it is you want to switch, because when you're calming it down, you're going to switch from an empowering, like, hey, I'm controlling the situation, I'm empowering myself. You're going to disempower that. If you allow, so this is the part that I want to highlight. If you allow for that negative self voice to take control of what's going on, you're gonna make the problem even bigger. So in my case, when I had the potential client, they didn't call. If I would have allowed myself to be like, all right, Steph, well, she sucks, or you suck, or you're not gonna get a client, you actually give it energy. That energy is going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to activate it because there's so much emotion around it that you feel like it's your right to feel this way, and it feels so real in that moment. You're going to activate that within you. What that means, when you activate that within you, you're going to make it a reality, because you're now saying, remember, there's a law of attraction. So I'm going to move into the next step, but before that, there's a law of attraction. Whatever you feel, you attract. The universe and the law of attraction, it doesn't know if it's good or bad. And I say this because there's not good or bad. It's what we judge it. So it doesn't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. It just knows, man, Steph has a lot of energy about this person. Let me bring her more of those people that are going to sell her out in coaching, which is the last thing I want to do. Hey, Bridget. So when you're going, let's say if you want to date, if you're looking to find a mate, right? And then I'm gonna move on to step number 2. But let's say you're looking to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner in your life. You go on a date. The date was awful. The person was like the biggest clown. You come home and you call your girlfriend and you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe this person was a clown. They didn't pay for it. They got drunk. They tried to sleep with me and like all these things, right? You give it so much energy that something is going to switch in your brain, and your universe is going to be like, wow, Steph is really into these people that sell her out and that, that get drunk in dates. Let me bring her more of that. that's the last thing you want to do, right? You want somebody that's loving, somebody that respects you, somebody that maybe pays, and there's a gentleman that pays for your first date, somebody that doesn't get drunk and try to sleep with you. So instead of getting pissed and going home and calling your girlfriend and being like, oh my God, all these things, you're like, you know what? It's all good. This wasn't the guy for me. I send him love. I'll make sure that if somebody's on their second margarita within half an hour, I cut it off, I leave, and you let it go. So do you see the shift in my energy from the first one, how you're going out of town and complaining, to the second one and being like, you know what, it wasn't ideal, this is not for me, this is not what I want, I'm gonna let it go. So you're shifting from fear of potentially not finding anybody to allowing it to flow. So step number one, acknowledge it, be curious about it, and say, little voice in my head, you're not the one in control. Let's see what's going on. Let me cool my jets, see what my problem, what my fear is, and then move into step number two. So step number two is all about being curious. You wanna, once you're calmed down, once you realize like, you know what, I'm learning, and you've calmed down, you start to be curious. So what is curious that I'm paralyzed about? So I'll give you a second example, and this is something in one of my coaching clients who is in the corporate world. So she has a little bit of fear about speaking up in public in her corporate, in her meetings. I was in corporate for so many years, so I absolutely get it. So there is a fear of her speaking up. So every time she's going to speak up, it's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. So when it's to you and you're thinking about your problem, whatever paralyzes you, being a parent, starting a new business, being in corporate, wanting to find a mate, what is paralyzing you? What is holding you back from doing what you want to do? So in the case of my corporate client, she's afraid to speak up. We were being curious about it, and sometimes it's easier to maybe talk it through a friend that you like, or somebody that you trust. She realized that the last few times that she was speaking in public, either her boss put her down, like, we don't need to hear this right now, or she found one of her colleagues being on their phone and they were being distracted. So then she set a belief to say, I'm not going to speak up in public because my boss is either going to yell at me or my coworkers are going to ignore me. Neither of those situations are fun. Nobody wants to experience that. However, when you think about it, you can be like, okay, your boss might have had a bad day. Great, fair. My coworker, they may have gotten a text. It had nothing to do with her. But once you're curious and you realize, like, you know what? It's actually not impossible for me to speak up. I'm just a little bit fearful. Just like it's not impossible for you to find your loved one. It's not impossible for you to learn how to be a great parent. It's not impossible for anything. I always say, and I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times, but if you think of Oprah, who is a black woman and who is one of the most powerful millionaires in the entire world, and she made her money and her power in a world, 50 years ago, where if you were black, you were not allowed to be on TV. If you were black, you had way less opportunities that you have today. Some could argue that that's still the case, but I'm talking to Oprah. If Oprah could make it, then anybody could, for that matter. So what I'm asking you, what I'm telling you is that nothing is impossible. Keep on going for it, and just be curious. Okay, what's holding me back? My Instagram just stopped working. Sorry, Insta, Facebook, I'm all you, baby. I'm gonna post it later on YouTube. So, okay. So the last part of step number two, you're curious, you realize it, and then you unmask it. You say, you know what, I've been fearful about this. Let me unmask it and see what has been preventing me. Why do I think I'm a bad parent? Why do I think, okay, you're not a bad parent, first of all, but maybe there's some memories there about something that holds you back. Why do I think that I can't speak up in meetings? Whatever it is, kind of be curious, unmask it, and just say, you know what, which is leading me to the next step, is to take action. So let's say you figure out, okay, these are my reasons. Let me take action. I'm going to have an accountability person, a coach, a friend, a sister, a brother, somebody that you trust. Hey, Steph, you know what? I want to hold myself accountable because I want to speak up in the next meeting. So I'm telling you right now, I have a meeting on Friday. I decided I'm going to speak up. I want to hold myself accountable. I want to break through this fear. I will do it. All right. Will you hold me accountable? Yes. So you have somebody that holds you accountable, because if you have a little bit of pressure to say like, man, now I have to go back to Steph on Friday, let her know that I spoke in a meeting. If I don't speak in a meeting, then I have to say I didn't speak in a meeting. So if you have a little bit of accountability, you're almost hacking yourself and saying like, okay, now I'm going to hold myself accountable. So it's always important to have that accountability. At the beginning, it's like if you were teaching a kid to walk. So you realize the fear, let's say the kid is like crawling and now it has to walk and it's a fear that it may fall. Although kids, I don't think they think that way. But for the purpose of our example, when they're going from the crawling to the walking stages, there might be a little bit of fear, right? So in that moment, they're gonna try once and they're gonna fall. So this person, they're gonna speak up in a meeting and they're still might fearful. But if you take action and you're consistent, just think of the little kid that's learning from crawling to walking. It's not gonna do it in one try. It's gonna take them a couple of tries. So whatever this fear that you've been feeling for a while and it's holding you in this hamster wheel, realize that you have to do it a couple times to set yourself free. So in my case, at the beginning, I shared with you guys way at the beginning to say this person didn't show up for the coaching time. I wasn't disappointed. Trust me, it took me a couple of times to say, the first time somebody didn't call me, I was like, is it me? Maybe they don't like me, maybe da-da-da. The second time it would be about them. Like, oh my God, it's them. I don't want to work with them, da-da-da-da. It's like the cycle, right? And then after a couple of times, I just said, it's not them or it's not me. Maybe something happened. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe they're not ready to make that commitment. All cool, man, because you realize like when you let it go, you let it flow. So good. So let go, take a step back from it and allow for it to flow. If you're holding on to it, I'm a bad parent, I'm never going to find a boyfriend, I'm never going to find another client. You are like choking that thing and you're not allowing for that energy to flow through. So that's what it is, my friends. I shared with you guys 3 tips. If you guys are still on, let me know if you have any questions. Instagram is gone, so Facebook, all you. It seems that you guys were on, you enjoyed it. If you love this, share with your friends, with your family, repost it. I am live every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, although I may do afternoons. Maybe I'll switch it up because you guys have been unbelievable. I'm sending a post, so if you want to get on my emails, just send me a quick DM. I will add you to my email list and you will get this and a post as well, so you can have all the information you have with you. I hope this helped you. I am so good, Robert. Oh, I cannot wait to see you, my brother. If you guys loved it, share it. I love talking to you guys, so DM me, reach out, let me know what you're going through. I am happy to help. Love you guys so much. Rob, I cannot wait to see you next week. He's my brother-in-law and it's the best. I love him. Love you guys. Happy week, happy Tuesday, and I will see you guys live on social media. Have a good one. Take care.